Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, is my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Trav, double OT, terrific Trav. And, unfortunately, Trav, this man, D, is always off saving the world. Like, there's so much going on right now.
We got to keep tag teaming in.
I know,
He
bro.
leaves.
He
leaves.
Comes
back. I leave.
He comes back. He went into the past at one time. Then he went into the future. And, now you got the stuff with Batgirl going on. And now he got to go save her. And we don't know what's going to happen over at HBO Max. So, D, we hope to see you back here soon, man. And, joining us today is a very special guest.
Mm-hmm.
First, Trav, you followed her on Twitter. And then I slid in the DMs, and like you just said,
cut me off in traffic, bro. I was driving, you cut me off in traffic. Said I'm taking this exit first. I said, all right.
Hey, Trav hit me up that night. He was like, I see you stole my guest. I was like, what are you talking about? Stole your guest. How dare you? Yes, and that is voice actress Kat Protano. Kat, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely, like Trav just said. So
absolutely.
Before we get into this interview, the first thing I got to say is make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And if D was here, he says make sure that you check out the podcast. The link is down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. Trav, what's your tip of the day?
And my tip of the day is, even when your boy cuts you off in traffic, y'all going to the same destination. Gotta let it slide,
That's right. That's right. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. Oh, one other thing too. We're going to be at Superstar Anime August 13th and 14th. So we hope to see you guys there. And now we can go ahead and get into this interview. So the first question that I ask every guest on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, Kat, is what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Oh, well, first I fell down from space as a star.
Oh, you too?
And I hit the ground, and ever since then, it's I've been living life.
That's why you got the star logo.
Exactly. In terms of like voice acting, my origin story.
Kat is a person. Who is Kat?
Yeah, who is Kat?
Yeah.
We want to hear about the origin roots.
Yeah, the origin story. You say you fell from the sky. Like, everybody needs to know who Kat is. It's just like they know that you're a voice actress, but we want to know, like, what is the origin story? Like, what led to you becoming a voice actress? Yeah. Did you get bit by a radioactive? Yeah, did you get bit by a radioactive wolf and all that?
I wish. So star fell down into Boston, Massachusetts, and my parents were like, whoa, there's a child, let's raise that thing. And then, grew up in Massachusetts, go Sox, and then went to school in downtown Boston at Suffolk University. And then while I was pretty much finishing my senior year of college, undergrad, this little thing called the pandemic started, and I was working in the service industry. I was waitressing at the time, and they were like, you can't come in, so bye, see ya. So I basically was unemployed, left the city, moved back in with my mom in just outside the city, was bored doing nothing on unemployment because I couldn't work. I was like, I gotta do something with my life, and I had just finished playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was like, the voice acting in that game is just chef's kiss, so good. And so I was fresh off that, and then I was kind of here and there on Twitch watching voice actors stream on Twitch, and I was like, I kind of want to do that. So I bought a microphone and just kind of sat in my closet and did auditions for fan stuff and indie stuff and original stuff. And then 2 years later, I packed up my bags and moved to Los Angeles, and now I do it full time. And it's awesome. I love it so much.
Nice.
Hey, that was an awesome origin story. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome. I love that you said that you just went in the closet and you just recorded. And, something that I wanted to piggyback off of was, your bio on your page. you said that you would spend long drives sitting in the back seat, just telling stories to your parents and whatnot. And it's crazy because I was just talking with my mom earlier today, and I'm going to be the MC at Superstar Anime.
Ooh.
And she was just like, I'm just so proud of you. I remember when you were a kid, and you used to always have these outlandish stories that you would tell, and me and your brother, we would just look at each other and be like, what is Banks talking about? And she bought me a tape recorder when I was in middle school, so that way I could record these stories, because I just love telling stories. So I just thought that was interesting, that it's just like we're kind of similar. We both came crashing down from the sky, and we told these outlandish stories. So I want to ask you, like, what is a story from your childhood that you remember that you told your parents where they were just like, okay, what is going on here?
Oh my gosh. Oh man. I'd have to like call my mom up, like you said in my bio, I was like, fellow storyteller. I was always a big fan of like fairy tales and mythology, and I still am. And I actually, like, when I did my undergrad, my major was journalism, which I do not do anymore, and my minor was creative writing, and I basically did like studies in the classics and like folklore, fairy tales, mythology. So I still am very into that. But back then, I would basically like watch a Disney movie or like a Barbie movie or something, some kind of animated movie, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna put my own spin on it. So my poor mother would be driving, and I would be, or my grandma too. I did this to my grandma, and she will always remind me more than my mom. But I would tell like these like, Cat's take on what would happen instead if like Cinderella like didn't, like, the shoe didn't fit or something, and then
I love this.
But yeah, exactly. But I was like a 6-year-old, like, who, and like to create, it sounded like a fever dream, because who knows what I was talking about. I didn't even know what I was talking about, and it would be like 3-hour-long car drives, and mom would my mom would be like, we're gonna have 30 minutes of quiet time now because you need to stop. You gotta shut it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, that's how my oldest is.
That's what I was about to ask.
Thanks, no Zoe, man. Like, she just goes on and on. I be feeling like Lori Beth Timberg and Good Burger, and now tooted me up. And like Ed's brain is just fried from listening.
Just listen, man. Like it's crazy, man. Like I can just think of like some of the crazy stories that I used to tell my mom, but it's very similar, where it's just like I would watch a cartoon or anime, and I would put my own spin on it. Like, I would tell people, oh yeah, so I went to the Cell games and I was fighting Cell and whatnot. And
this before fan fiction.
Yeah, this was before fan fiction.
We were doing fan fiction before we even knew what it was.
That's right.
And it's funny to see where we go in life, and these stories. I feel like that they make us into the people that we are today, because even back then, like, I used to come up with all of these wrestling stories in my head, and then, like, Trav knows what I'm about to say, I ended up becoming a professional wrestler. And I'll say one of my greatest achievements from telling the story was there was a WWE video game, and they were having a contest because you could create your own stories in the video games, and I submitted my story, and it got put in WWE 2K12. They sent me a copy of the game for free, and they sent me a copy of another game for free, and I was just like, that's awesome, because it's like you don't expect stuff like that, so
not like that.
So something else I wanted to piggyback off of, you said that you would tell your grandparents and your mom about the Disney stuff. Like, what are your top 3 Disney movies?
Oh my gosh, you're opening a can of worms here. Okay,
that's what we do here.
That's right. We love the worms.
All right. Oh, who doesn't? Let me think. Okay, I think number 1 is Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Because it's
my mom's favorite.
It's just so good.
It is good.
I'm a big romance fan, so
same here.
Yeah, so like that movie,
you too.
And like as a kid, I think I was having this discussion with someone the other day. It's like sometimes your favorite movies come to you at a time when you need them most, and that's why they're your favorite movies, because they just resonate with you so much. And like I don't even think when I was a kid it was even my favorite movie, but I think like there was kind of like a time in my life where this is kind of a tangent. Like, for example, I was like very sad when I was in my teens, like dealing with depression, didn't have much to do, didn't have many friends, so I turned to video games, specifically like the Legend of Zelda franchise, and like you know, any other time I would play those, obviously I'd probably like them, but like they're so important to me because I would come home from just like hating school and life, and I would play those, and they just like opened up my world, and I was just so happy, and they just mean so much to me. So I think Beauty and the Beast came at a time when I needed it most, and I was like, romance and like finding the best in other people.
Absolutely.
And like learning to love yourself no matter what you look like.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then number 2, oh man, I really like Princess and the Frog, and like this one is mostly because like I just really like the 2 main characters and their romance, and like their dynamic together is really cute because I love like an enemies to lovers, and they kind of are like enemies to lovers. And it was the last time Disney did a 2D animation when they went full 3D, and it's just like so beautiful and such a gorgeous movie, and I'm very excited that they're turning the Splash Mountain into a Tiana ride because like, love Princess and the Frog. So that one, and then number 3, oh man, maybe Tangled. I really like
when you brought up 2 characters kind of not liking each other to falling in love, Tangled is what went through my mind.
You can just kind of see like exactly like where I enjoy my romance, and it's like in all those 3. But at the same time, I am a big fan of like the medium of animation, and like those movies just really like pushed the boundaries of like what you can do. And I really enjoy, I was talking to my roommate about this today, when animation does something completely new. Like when I watched Shrek 2 or all the Shrek movies, I was like, Puss in Boots, like he's a cool character, right? But I wouldn't see a full movie about him. But then I saw the trailer for the new Puss in Boots where it's like that 2D 3D kind of hybrid. And I'm like, that is cool. Spider-Verse, like just stuff that like transcends the medium. I'm like, that is awesome. I love that.
That's funny you brought up Shrek, because remember when Shrek came out, this was like groundbreaking animation. And
Yeah.
Zoe's been on a Shrek kick. So like we watched Shrek, and I was like, God, I can't believe this was groundbreaking. Like this looks like shit now.
Yeah.
You watch old stuff but it's like the same as playing old video games. Like I would play like I don't even know, like Twilight Princess when I was younger, and I was like, this is the coolest or like Smash Bros. Brawl, and I was like, these are the coolest graphics of all time.
They make those Final Fantasy memes where they're like, these are the best graphics, and it shows like Squall's face.
Yeah, Squall's face is all messed up.
There's a bunch of pixels.
There's a meme going around now where it
Austin?
shows Stone Cold Steve
Austin.
Austin.
So funny.
And it's just like when we were kids, we was just like, man, like these graphics.
These were awesome. Yeah.
They were awesome. And you know, we can't move along. You know, you got to tell us what Zelda game was the one that you was playing when you would come home. And I was just like, yo, I just need something to pick me. What game was it?
I think it was was mostly Twilight Princess, but also Wind Waker was like the first one I ever played. Like my dad bought me and my brother a GameCube, and we played Wind Waker. And at the time, I didn't really understand how video games worked, so I could never get off like the starting island. So my brother would play it, and I would watch it, and I would be like, whoa, awesome. And then like a couple years later, I played Twilight Princess, and it was like the first time I ever completed a video game really by myself without any help from anyone.
I love that.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, I did this all by myself. I figured it out. I can never do it. Or we'd even have like our next door neighbor come over and play like Ocarina of Time for us, because we just like didn't understand how to progress a game.
Yo,
so, yeah.
I feel you on that, because Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game that I had ever played. And remember when it would get dark and the skeletons would come out of the ground? I would stop playing it because I was scared.
I was this story before.
Yeah, I have told this. I told it when we did our Halloween episodes.
So funny.
It's just wild because I remember my mom rented me the game from Blockbuster, and I stopped playing the game because I was just like, I'm not trying to go out at night and then skeletons are going to come up out of the ground and take me out. So, I feel like, Kat, me and you came from the same planet, because Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game that I beat. And after I beat that game, well, not first Zelda game, but it was the first video game I had ever beaten. And I felt like after that, I could beat any game. Then I beat Super Mario 64.
Right.
You know, Zelda holds a special place in my heart. And the next tattoo that I get, it's going to be Deku. It's going to be Deku from My Hero Academia, and he's going to be holding the Deku mask from Majora's Mask, because that's my favorite Zelda game.
Hell yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I was gonna say my next tattoo, my first tattoo is gonna be. I was thinking maybe the like a Triforce, but then like the Silent Princesses flowers from Breath of the Wild. Just because Zelda is so important to me, and it's like it's just and I know a lot of people feel the same way, and like I don't play them like I used to. Like I would always be playing a Zelda game.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Now,
Adulting.
Where's the time? Where's the time now? But Breath of the Wild. I'm very excited for Breath of the Wild too. I was saying to my friend last night, I will be like taking time off work. I will be getting it at midnight. I will be staying up all night to play it, and it's I'm very excited for that game.
And
now, go ahead, Trav.
I was gonna say, and I promise we're gonna talk about your career eventually for sure.
But this is what we do up here.
We're gonna fangirl.
Well, one thing I do want to say is I'm really big into like comedy, and comedians are a little bit of a tortured soul kind of thing. Like they're actually very deep individuals, and they got like a lot of trauma that they got to deal with. But I listened to this. I don't know if you've ever seen Impractical Jokers, but Joe Gatto has a podcast with Steve Byrne called Two Cool Moms, and earlier today they were talking about like their love of video games, and his favorite video game is Tomb Raider, and he was talking about when he was a kid he had no friends, and he used to play this game on Sega Genesis. I forgot what he said it was, but it was this guy, and he had like a hawk, and like the hawk, you could become the hawk and fight people, and he was like, I used to pretend like the hawk was my friend because I had no friends. But like that stuff sounds silly, the kind of stuff we were talking about earlier, but it's like this shit's important to people.
Yeah,
you know, animation, video games, and stuff relating to characters, and like, you know, this is real stuff, man. That really helps people get through whatever they're going through at any age.
Yeah, that's why I want to be like. That's why I do this kind of. Well, part of the reason why I do my work is just to like be part of the things that mean so much to people.
Exactly.
And really resonate. Like, there are some times that I'll be playing a game or watching a movie or a show where a performance will just like really sit with me, and I'll be like, I don't know how they did that. And like sometimes I'll get really lucky and I'll get to like take a class with them or meet them just in the wild in LA and like get to ask them how they got to that point, how do you bring out those emotions, because that's not easy to do. And it's like so cool to, I think, and it's cool to them because they're like, to them they were just sitting in a studio with like a Excel spreadsheet in front of them, and like to me I was in front of a screen, like tears running down my face kind of deal. So it's cool to like have that back and forth, and it's like this medium, video games, animation, all fan stuff is just so important to people. And I know sometimes the older generations are like, they don't get it, but like we get it.
Now, you know, something else I wanted to piggyback off of, and then I'll pass the ball to Trav, but it was something that you had said earlier when you were talking about your origin story, about how you would watch a Disney movie, and if you were feeling a certain type of way, like it can make you happy and it bring you joy. And I feel like recently, one of the Disney movies that does that for me is Turning Red. Like, I can't believe I've watched it 8 times now. And
wow.
I feel like every time I watch it, there's something in the movie that it's just like I can relate to. Like at the end of the movie, when May's mom, when she tells May that you're always trying to make other people happy, you just need to worry about making yourself happy. And I was just like, man, like I needed to hear that. And Trav knows, because it's like I had went to go visit one of my friends, and she ended up ghosting me when I went to go visit her. And I was driving home listening to that, and I was just like, dang, man, it's just like, you know, I do always try to make other people happy, but you know, that's the job of trying to be the number one hero, man. You try to make other people happy, and then it's just like, when you need somebody, it's like, who's there for you? Have you seen
Right.
Turning Red?
It's one of my favorites. That movie, like, cause I think, like, obviously I'm not from Canada, but that really embodied, like, the whole kind of experience of growing up as a young girl in the early 2000s, and
Yeah.
you know, being kind of a nerd, being kind of weird. You know, mother-daughter relationships not always the easiest to deal with, and like there were many tears shed, and like that movie came at a right time too.
Mhm.
That, and like I feel like it was that movie back to back with like Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it was like the mother-daughter dynamic kind of movie.
That's still my favorite movie of the year.
That's
It is
such a
so
good movie.
good.
Yeah, man.
So good. And it's like it's those movies really resonate with me, and like I saw Turning Red on Disney Plus in my house, but like turning off the movies and walking away, there were just tears streaming down my face. And it's like I called my mom. I was like, "You gotta watch this."
I know, like, doesn't it? I mean, it's like, you know, I'm a guy, but I feel that. It's just like whenever I watch the movie, I think about my mom, and I just like I want to call her and talk with her and whatnot, because I mean, even going to Encanto, I feel like there's a character in that movie that everybody can relate to, and you know, for me, it would be Luisa, but then at the same time, my mom, who still hasn't seen either movie, she will relate to Luisa as well. But I really want her to watch it. I wanted her to watch Turning Red when she came home, and she was just like, you already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fall asleep while I'm watching the movie. and Trav knows. Trav, now
my
you
mom
see,
is the same way.
Hey, that's just trickled down from mother to son.
it does. Hey, me and Trav will go watch a movie, and I'll be knocked out, and I'm just like, oh,
Hey,
my
not
God.
even just my man played Kingdom Hearts 3 one time, and the cutscene was so long, my man passed out on the couch.
I mean, it's that's how it is being an adult. Like, I was in a party with my friends, and like they was just like, "Yeah, man, we just heard you snoring, so we left the party." It's like, what's the point of staying in there, you know? But Kat, you know, talking about video games, and you know, you getting into voice acting, like, how was it like when you auditioned to voice in the first video game that you did?
Well, I think I can't really talk about like what the video game is, but the first like big video game, as in like pretty big.
Okay.
Like I, you know, got the booking email and cried a lot. The first
That's
time
awesome.
I auditioned for that game, well, like seeing those auditions in your inbox is like oh my God, that's in my inbox. I'm seeing this. I get to do this, and like I don't even care if I book it. I get to do the audition, and that's cool. That's awesome. Like, you know, they always tell you when you like go to a class, they're like, auditioning is the job. Like the real work is the audition, and then, you know, sometimes you get lucky and you book it, and then you do it, and then you get paid. But auditions are just like so fun, because, you know, going back to the storytelling thing, it's like you get to storytell, you get to be those characters, and like it's almost like you're role playing. You are those characters. You get to enter these different worlds in your head and do that, and you get to do that several times a day. And sometimes you book it, and then you get to really be that character even more, and it's yours, and it's really cool. And yeah, so I got getting those auditions in my inbox, and then like I had like my one of my other friends also got the auditions, so we were kind of like helping each other back and forth, and like we did really good work that day, and just like getting to kind of like take apart a character with so little. Like, you do not get a lot. Well, usually you don't get a lot. You just kind of get the lines and a little blurb, and just like coming up with like just reading in between the lines, coming up, making choices, making this character yours is just like so fun. Like, both of us spent a couple hours in the booth going through these, and it was really cool. And then I booked it, and that was really exciting. And I called my mom in tears. I was like, I booked a big thing. I can't say what it is, but it's a cool thing. And she was like, yay. I don't know what it is. And I'm trying to get my mom to. My mom is like a very basic. She plays Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is like her favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
She'll play it every day. She doesn't really get the other video games, but my brother is he's a streamer, and he does esports, so we're slowly trying to get her to play some more bigger things. And I was like, Mom, we're gonna teach you how to play this game when it comes out, and you're gonna like it. So Yeah,
It's just
I
like
still
a,
think
find out.
I still think her playing Animal Crossing is a big deal because that's a
Yeah.
grind game, you know.
yeah,
It is. She loves that. I mean, because when I was a kid, her and I would play the original GameCube version together.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So and we've kind of played every single one that's come out together, and it's like cool to look at. Like it was just different points in our lives as we were playing them, and so. You know, the most recent Animal Crossing came out during the pandemic, and my brother and I were living with her at the time because both of us were, you know, home from college, no jobs. And so she was using our Switches to play, and then he went back to college, and then I was moving to LA. So for her birthday, we bought her her own Nintendo Switch. So
Nice.
now,
Yeah,
so
that's
now
awesome.
she gets to play it every day. And then like on Thanksgiving this past year, it was like my first Thanksgiving not on the East Coast with my whole family. So just so we could like be together somewhat, she like showed me around her island on Thanksgiving, so I wasn't
awesome.
completely alone.
See, man, I'm kind of envious because you played the games with your mom and whatnot. I tried to get my mom into playing video games, but after I whooped her ass in Tekken, she didn't want to play no more. You know what I'm saying?
You brought her in for Tekken and then whooped her ass.
And you hear the way he says it too. It's just.
I mean, but you gotta think. But you gotta think about it. Hold on, Rondell. Hold on. It's just like she used to whoop my ass physically all the time, so I got to whoop her ass in Tekken.
You were getting revenge.
Exactly, getting that perfect on her, and hitting the comp.
Felt good.
It did feel good. It did feel good. And Trav, I'll pass the ball to you.
Be ashamed of yourself.
I'm never ashamed.
Now, not me personally being from the area, but my whole family being from Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I grew up a Sox fan, and
yeah.
I gotta ask you though, what made you say I'm going to LA and staying out there? And then when you get there, it's like, how is that different culturally for you? Because I've never been to LA, but I already know it's not Boston.
It is a whole different world.
Different world.
Yeah, it really is. But to go back to the beginning, I was very lucky to be booking enough, working out of my own home in Massachusetts that I could afford, like I had enough savings to be like, oh, I can, go over there. I can do that. And, that's a very privileged thing for me because not everyone can do that. I not to like toot my own horn, but I work very hard. I do like a lot of audiobooks just to pay the bills. I do commercials. I do like narration work just to get there. So I was like, maybe I could make the move. Not like I didn't even get an agent till recently. So people are like, oh, you're just going over there. It's really expensive to live there. Do you have like, connections out there? And I was like, I've worked with some studios out there, but I just want that experience of working in a studio because I've always been, just in a closet with foam surrounding me. So
like we see here.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I've upgraded. This one's a little better than the closet, but
yeah, because you recently just posted about that.
Yeah, I've had this booth for maybe like 6 months, but I did just move to a different part of LA, so I had to like get this thing moved, which is like whole project.
The whole thing.
It's a big. You saw the picture. It's a big.
I saw the.
box.
Hey, look. Hey, if you would have gave us a call, Trav could have came with the helicopter, scooped it up, dropped it right in the new.
But now you know. Now you know for the future.
Yeah,
okay,
for the future.
Yeah.
Hey, when you need to be moved, it's just like the Grand Theft Auto missions. Trav comes down with the helicopter and then hooks everything up.
You don't call the Ghostbusters no more.
No,
you
you call Trav.
You better call Trav.
Perfect. But yeah, going back to the move, I made it out here, and it was cool because I had made a lot of friends online and like meeting them in person, and now like I see them every day. We all live so close together. It's awesome. You finally get to live near your internet friends. Whoa, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And booking my first in studio session was it was really cool just to like go in there and be in there and do it and be like, whoa, this is so official and I don't have to engineer myself, and it was really cool.
Is that released yet? What you did?
The first one I did in studio, I don't think it is, but I think it will be soon. There's yeah.
No, because I asked that because I didn't want to ask you what it was, and then you can't
Yeah.
say because it ain't
Yeah.
out yet.
Hey,
I
but
wish
look,
I
with
could
the snap of a
talk.
finger, we could erase.
I know, you can scrub it on out. But yeah, I wish I could. There's so much stuff. Luckily, I have a couple pretty big things coming out even this month, the next few months that I can finally talk about. But
Nice.
yeah, the first in studio gig I did. Hopefully, it'll come out soon. It was a very cool project, and I had a pretty significant role in it, so I got to go to the studio like a bunch, and like there's just something really special about seeing those people. Like, I'm very glad things are hybrid where, people from all over the world can work anywhere
Yeah.
and be safe and not have to worry about going in and getting sick. But at the same time, when you do get to do that, if it's available and you're safe, it's so cool to like put faces to voices and like make friends and make connections and see people and then see them again later and be like, oh my god, I've seen you before, we worked together, we had so much fun. But yeah, it's cool being out here, and then it's cool like getting to meet people and see people who I have looked up to for a long time, because I've always been a nerd. I've always been into this kind of stuff, and I've always been like, oh, who voices in this thing that I'm playing or that I'm watching? And getting to meet them in person and just like them being, oh, you're a normal human being just like me. Whoa, that's crazy. And then now you're friends. And like one of my best friends out here, he is a lead in one of my two of my favorite animes of all time. One of them was one of the first I ever watched. And like getting to meet him and be like, whoa, are we gonna be best friends? And then now we're best friends. It's like, wow, you're such a cool
like
person.
Step Brothers. Did we just?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's definitely a cool thing about living out here now. And it is a whole different world. It is hot. It is hot and dry, but I love it out here. It's cool. I think there's a lot of like, with LA, yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, there's like influencers in the wild everywhere, but I think there's a lot of like the nerdy culture, the artsy culture. People are not afraid to just be themselves, and there's a cool community out here.
Yeah, and a lot of those voice actors that are in LA, I just hope that they're not mad at me, because I owe a lot of people breadsticks, and I don't know when we're going. I mean, Trav, maybe now that you got the helicopter, we can head over there so that way I can give them these breadsticks and the marinara sauce. Because hey,
you can't
a lot of
these things. You
I
can't
know.
tell him you have breadsticks.
He writes a lot of checks that sometimes he can't cash.
It's just like I'm the type of person like because we do so many things with cons now, and we know so many voice actors that have never, gone to a con or been invited to one. I'm just like, yo, we're gonna bring you to Virginia, and I know some people, but Trav, I can say that I talked with somebody today, and they told me
he's the MC.
Yeah, I'm the MC. I'm the master of ceremony. So, it's just like I talked with somebody and they was just like, so, put a list together of like some of your voice acting friends, and, I'll pass it along to somebody, and then we can go from there. Because, somebody that we interviewed back when we first started, Ken Michael, it's just like, I had reached out to him to check on him, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, I've never been invited to a con or anything. And he's done so much work. He like, he's a legend. He's a 90s legend. He was on sitcoms, and he was on As Told by Ginger, and he was the main character in the Saints Row game for years. And I'm just like, yeah, man, like, I'll see what I can do, man. I don't have that much. Yeah. So
well, if you're ever at a con out here, or if we are crossing paths in cons, I will definitely come say hello.
Hey, we're gonna hand you the breadstick like a baton.
We're gonna hand you the breadsticks. Hey, look, I'm gonna be standing there like this, be like, here go your breadsticks, man. Now, to piggyback off of something that you had said, growing up, and then, being one of those type of people that like, who voices this character? I want to know who voices this. Like, has there ever been, sorry, you already answered that question, but like, who was the person that, you always wanted to meet, and you finally met them and you were starstruck by meeting this person? Is this the best friend that you were talking about, or is there somebody else?
Well, I feel like there's a few of them who can apply to that. And like, it wasn't all, like, some of them not in person per se. Just because most of my career has been remote, but I got to meet Yuri Lowenthal, which was really cool. And like, that dude is a freaking legend. And like, I've gotten to meet my friend his name is Alan Lee. He's in
Hey, we interviewed Alan.
Yeah, we know Alan.
Yeah, we know Alan Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, so he I remember I watched Great Pretender and
Hey, well,
we had a
hey,
full
I'm
Great
sorry,
Pretender
Kat.
month.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey,
Ah!
I got to let everybody that's listening and watching right now. We had a Great Pretender month back in September. We had Alan Lee up here. We had Kashar Muhammad, Lauren Post, Aaron Phillips. You could check out those interviews either up here on YouTube or on the podcast. You know, we always plugging everything. But yeah, Alan is an awesome person.
I'm gonna check those out. Yeah, he's great, and he's really helped me. And like, there is a handful of people out here in the industry who are like, I want to help. Like, people helped me get to where I am, and I want to help the new gen. And I have been very lucky to have been helped by a couple of those people who just genuinely want to see you succeed. And like, I want to, pay it forward when I can. So whenever I can recommend people to a director or a studio or something, I'm like, hell yeah, I got names, I got lists, here we go, take them. Like, I just want to see everyone succeed, and just like, because I've been very lucky to get to do it, and I've had people look out for me, and sometimes sometimes you don't have people looking out for you, so I want to be that person.
Yeah, we've had that. Yeah. We've had that on the pod where they gave us a list of names, and they were like, "Tell them I sent you."
Yeah, and I'm gonna give her a shout out. That's Brittany Cox, and you can listen to her episode or watch it up here on YouTube. And yeah, like when we had did our International Women's Month, I had reached out to her and I was just like, hey, like, I'm just trying to get a list of people. If there's anybody that you could send our way, I would really appreciate it. And she was like, I got you. She sent me like 10 people. I was just like, hell yeah. I mean, it's only 4 weeks in the month, but hey, we're gonna reach out to those people. And I want to say that list lasted us for a good couple of months, and we really appreciate her. And like Trav was saying, to piggyback off of what he said, like, the voice acting community is so supportive, and we've been very fortunate enough to interview so many of you guys, and just to see how awesome that you people are and whatnot. And that's one thing that's just one thing that I love, man. And you hear that all the time, is just that everybody in this community is very supportive. And even when I took some voiceover classes with Matthew David Rudd, whose episode that you can watch or listen to, everybody that was in that class, they were just so supportive, and people who had experience and people that were just coming in, like, they just wanted to see people grow. So that's something I definitely really want to get back into, is doing the voiceover stuff, because that's something I always wanted to do. There's 3 things in life I always wanted to do. That was become a professional wrestler, do stand-up comedy, and do voice acting. I've done 2 of the things, and I really need to focus on doing the 3rd.
That's trifecta. We'll get you. We'll get that checked off.
It's a Legend of Zelda thing. Yeah.
Exactly. The Triforce of goals in life. Exactly. But yeah, voiceover classes, like, people are just so supportive and so genuine too. Like, when everybody in the chat, because a lot of times, a lot of classes nowadays are on Zoom. It's like everybody's in the chat, just like, listening to you and telling you how much they liked your performance and what they liked about it, and like where they felt, like where it resonated for them, and then everyone's doing it for each other, and like you just come out feeling really good at the end of these classes, and it's just like, I couldn't ask for a better community.
Well, Trav, you can go over the next one.
I was gonna say, I want to go back and piggyback off of something that you said earlier, was talking about doing like narration to pay the bills and stuff like that. And I know we get a lot of like voice actors that do. It's easy for us to just be like anime, video games, whatever, but I just feel like that work's important too, especially for me. I've been starting to get into, because I like to read, but I can't read a whole lot, and I'm on the road driving a whole lot, so I've been listening to books and doing audiobooks and stuff like that. And I think doing those kind of works is so important. Like, it's important to not just put out a book, but to put out the audio book of the book too.
Yeah, and it's accessible for everybody. Yeah,
you have to make it accessible for everybody. So how do you enjoy doing that? Are you doing a lot of children's stuff, or maybe fantasy, or maybe even like the kind of books that teach you stuff? Like, what kind of stuff are you doing in there?
Man, I do it all. Like
Damn right, Cat
I
does it all.
I know, I
yeah,
like that.
Damn right.
that's right. That's going on the website. Yeah, I really do. I do a lot of kids books, which, well, really cool experience. I will get them in like batches a lot of times, and then like I'll do a bunch at once and just like send them off, and then sometimes they'll send me the kid like a physical copy of the kids book, so like I can give them, like I have younger like nephews, and like, you know, maybe if I ever have kids, I can be like, Mommy read this one, and like that kind of thing. But I actually, so you guys know Kieran Regan. We do dual narration a lot, where we'll read a book together, and like
Nice.
yeah. So every time like if it's a, you know, multiple point of view story, we'll switch off narrating. If our characters come in, you know, I'll play the females, he'll play the males. We're doing one right now, which we're just having so much fun. Like sometimes you get books that you're like, you know, let's just get this done and, you know, get our, you know, paycheck. You know, we're doing it. Yeah, it's a good book, but it's not maybe for us. But this one we were having so much fun with. We literally like, we were talking last night after we try to record a couple chapters a day, and we were talking afterwards, and was like, this is so much fun. It's just so well written, and like it's like 6 different characters, and it's like, it's announced that we're doing it. It's called The Cursebound Thief by Megan Russell. It's a YA novel, you know, it's for, you know, teens, young adults, but it's like a heist book, and there's like 6 different characters. It's like 3 males, 3 females, so we each get to like really work our range, and like they just have really good dialogue. It's just such good writing. There's like, obviously each character kind of fits an archetype, but like there's nuance to the characters. They're so fun to play, and it's like, yeah, I am excited to do more every time that we get to do a session together for it. And but yeah, other than that, like when I do get to do audiobooks, they're long. They're a marathon.
Yeah.
You're working on it for a couple weeks, like sometimes a month, depends how long it is, several hours and a day, and it's like, it's fun though, because you get to try new characters, try new voices, try new accents, and it's like a very safe space to do that. And then you can be like, whoa, I did this character, and I can like actually do this. And then sometimes you get an audition later and you're like, oh my god, this character from this book, that's like exactly what this character in this audition is. I'm just gonna throw that in. Sometimes you book it and you're like, whoa, look at that, I gained something more from the audiobook. So yeah, I do pretty much like every genre you can imagine. I've done sci-fi, I do a lot of YA because that's kind of where my voice fits the most, and also children's books because I can do, you know, some of the more higher pitched voices kind of deal.
Yeah,
I can hear that.
So, you know, I've been plugging people all day, you know, who we've interviewed. I'll let you do this one, Kat. You know, you just mentioned Kieran Regan, so, you know, tell people what they can do to listen to Kieran's episode.
Oh, well, they can go on your YouTube and they can find Kieran's episode, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it right after this because I haven't watched it yet, and I can't wait to see what Kieran had to say. And yeah, go check it out.
Great dude.
Great dude. And it's crazy because when we had interviewed Kieran, I remember we were talking about when we were all in school and whatnot. And when I was in high school, I used to act like I was going Super Saiyan and whatnot. And Kieran was telling us when he was in high school that, you know, kids would be acting like they were from Attack on Titan, and sometimes they would be doing the Naruto run and all this other stuff. And it's just always cool to hear, you know, from different generations, like how it was when they were in school and whatnot. So
what was the big nerdum going on?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So you know, something that I had saw when I was, you know, getting the slideshow behind me together was that you're a cosplayer. And
I am.
I have a series on YouTube called Who's That Cosplayer, where I interview cosplayers and whatnot. And you know, so now I'm going to turn this into a little mini Who's That Cosplayer. So, you know, tell everybody that's listening, like, how did you get into cosplay?
Oh, well, if you've been watching so far, you can tell, maybe if you are very good at inferring things, that I'm a big nerd. And I remember, like, I would back in the day, I would go on tumblr.com and I would see other cosplayers and I'd be like, oh, I want to do that so bad. And I remember my very first con, I was 15 years old and my mom took me, and I think it was Boston Comic Con, which they don't even call it that anymore. I think they call it like Boston Fan Expo now. But she took me to my very first con and she was very confused, but she was like, you know what, whatever's gonna make Kat happy is fine. Whatever, I'll go do it. And I cosplayed as Ness from Earthbound, and it was like, I just bought I bought the shirt, and I didn't wear a wig or anything. I just had the hat, and I couldn't bring the baseball bat because I've got a convention.
Well, maybe if you would have brought the peanut butter and jelly, then you could have brought the baseball bat. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's why did I think about that? But and then from there it was just I had so much fun, and I just love cons. And then I went here and there. I didn't go as much in high school after that, but then I hit college and I met all my nerdy friends, and then PAX East, Anime Boston, they were all down the street from us, and we'd all go together, and it was just so much fun. And I was like, I have a job now. I can spend real money and get a really cool cosplay. And I've done Ash from Overwatch.
Nice.
Most recently I did Lisa from Genshin. I done Ciri from The Witcher. Oh, I've done. Who else have I done? I did Officer Jenny one year from Pokemon. So it's just so fun to go, and then my friends will dress up when we go, and just getting to spend so much money in the artist alley and in the dealer's room, and getting to go to the panels and getting to see voice actors there. That's really cool. And then the pandemic hit, and then cons weren't happening as much. And I want to go to a con so bad. I almost went to Anime Expo, but they sold out. And also I was like, big crowd and COVID, I'm scared. But then I got COVID anyways right after. I didn't even go, so whatever.
No, that's an awesome I was about to say origin story. I mean, it's a second origin story. When I interview some cosplayers, some of the older ones, they always say that they watched anime when they were elementary and middle school, then they stopped watching it when they got to high school because they didn't want to get bullied for being a nerd and whatnot. But then once they got to college, they started watching anime again, and then they started going to the cons. One of the cosplayers I interviewed, Bumblebee's Cos, whose interview you can watch here on the channel, she was saying that she stopped watching it because Inuyasha was her favorite thing, and she knows the lyrics to each and every song from Inuyasha, because all of those songs were fire. And she said that how she got back into cosplaying was her and her friend, they took a trip to Japan, and her favorite anime besides Inuyasha was Cardcaptor Sakura. Oh, wow. And when she went to Japan, she saw the cosplay there, and she bought that cosplay. And when she came back to America, she went to a con and she cosplayed as Sakura. And I was just like, yo, that's some real life anime type thing. It's just I went to Japan, I came back, and I found myself. I had the eye of the tiger.
I want to go to Japan so bad.
We all do.
We all do.
I know. Don't we all? It's my big thing that I'm saving for. I think I told myself next time I book a big national commercial, that is going to the Japan fund. So
hey, look. Hey, Trav got the helicopter. All you got to do is just feed him. Just feed him and put gas in it, and he'll get you to where you need to go. But
perfect.
Go ahead, Trav.
I was gonna say, I do want to ask, how do your friends feel about this career that you got now? If you're still friends with them, from college days.
They are very supportive. They think it's very cool, and they're just I hang out with a lot of voice actors, and sometimes I'll use voice acting, and then my friends from college came and visited LA a couple weeks ago, or June, I think. What is time? I don't know what day it is.
That's right.
But they're just so supportive, and they're it's so cool what you're doing, and people, I guess people from my college still they'll be oh, it's so cool what Kat's doing, and my friends and my parents and my family, I do a lot of commercials, so it's a little more accessible to them than, you know, like the anime and the games and that kind of stuff. And like cool thing that happened, I have a commercial going right now that it's still airing, but it specifically was airing during the NBA finals, and my friends were visiting, and we were in Santa Monica at a bar, and because the game was on, it was like the sound was on in the whole bar, and all of a sudden I hear my own voice, and I was like, wait a second, that's me. So that was a very cool moment, and getting to share that with like my best friends who I've known for so many years, and who, you know, I don't get to see them a lot because they're on the East Coast still, but every day, like, I text them all the time, and they're just like, oh my god, just heard your commercial, or it's so cool what you're doing, and we're so proud of you, and it was really cool to share that moment with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
yeah, that is awesome. I love that.
So I want to ask you, you know, what are some animes that you would love to lend your voice to? And is it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
It is absolutely JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Trav?
Yes, I would love to be in that anime. Chainsaw Man, I read all of the Chainsaw Man manga in like 2 days. I was so invested.
You saw the new pictures they released for the anime?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, they released they released new artwork for the anime coming out. Fire.
I gotta go look.
I'm hyped
that anime is
for
gonna
it.
be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I'm a big shoujo fan, so like any magical girl anime, like I would love to be in. If they ever do a Princess Tutu reboot, I really hope they call me, because that is one of my favorite. Or an Escaflowne reboot.
Yeah, that's
classic.
That's a throwback right there.
Yeah, right. And not many people know Escaflowne, and it's just like that is it is near and dear to my heart. What other anime would I want to be in? Fairy Tail was like one of the very first anime that I really watched.
Right.
Like I would come home from class every day and like watch, like that was what I did, is I would watch Fairy Tail until I finished it. And I know they're doing like the 100-year quest. Is that what it's called? 100-year quest arc? I know they're like doing that as an anime.
Yeah.
I'm like, please put me in, coach, put me in.
That's right. I'm still waiting on my season 2 of Little Witch Academia, man. Me and the kids been waiting for years.
Anything Trigger puts out, if Studio Trigger puts out an anime, I want to be in it. Yeah, I love Studio Trigger. I love Little Witch Academia so much. I really hope it gets another season. I love that show. I love Kill la Kill was one of the first ones that back in the day when I first really got into anime, I would like watch things weekly, and I would want to know what happened, so I wouldn't even wait for the subs. I would like try and find a live stream of the TV channel in Japan and like just watch it raw and be like, I don't know what's happening. Like I did that with like Kill la Kill, I did it with Free, I did it with Noragami, I did it with the first season of Attack on Titan, and I miss those days when I had
That's so crazy.
Time.
The only time I ever did that was when High School of the Dead was running. Like when it aired, I would watch it live as it aired over there, and there was no subtitles, and I remember I was watching it. Me and my boy would get together, and we would just watch it every like Friday when it came out. And,
yes, it's awesome watching things as they premiere, and like especially really big hype shows like My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan. And it's like the whole world. Well, the whole world is in like a good chunk of people online are talking about it, and it's just so cool. That's why I'm really excited for Chainsaw Man. So the people that haven't read the manga yet can just see the beauty that is.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Gory beauty that is Chainsaw Man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I feel like for me, the first anime that I ever did that for was Dragon Ball Super, because it's like, you know, everybody was hyped because Dragon Ball was coming back, and I remember we had to wait for those subs. So it's just like when it would come out and you would just watch it raw because you didn't want to be spoiled about anything. And it was just it was a cool feeling. But you know, a lot of times Dragon Ball Super wasn't really the best as it continued to go on. Unfortunately. But when it first started, people were hyped, and then it's just like you know, so I mean,
there's a new movie coming out, right, for Dragon Ball?
Hey, we got to do that. Trav, I'll let you do the shout out. Go ahead.
Look, man, if you're in the Virginia area, because that's where we're based at, if we will be at the Cinema Cafe in Edinburgh for the English dub premiere of Dragon Ball Super. heroes. And we'll be there. We'll be interviewing people before the movie starts, getting to see what people are looking forward to. We'll be talking to people after the movie for the red carpet premiere at Cinema Cafe. And you know what's, man, Dragon Ball Z is so important to this podcast because Dragon Ball Z is how me and Banks met.
Yeah.
Our very first episode was us coming back after the Dragon Ball Broly movie and talking about that movie. That was our first episode. So, you know, all these years later, now we get to do the red carpet event at the movie theaters here locally.
You never know what's going to happen.
It's crazy. Yeah,
I love when things come full circle.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Well, that's awesome. Oh my God, will you pick me up?
Hey, and for the next one, we'll be out in LA doing the red carpet.
Yeah, pick her up at the helicopter. Hey, Trav, I thought that you was going to say the other thing, but you know me, I'm always plugging people and doing the name drops. You know, our good friend Jason Marnoka, whose episode that you can either listen to or watch up here on YouTube, he's going to be in the Dragon Ball Superheroes movie, and he's voicing Carmine, which is one of the main villains in the movie. So, hey, make sure that you check out that episode too. Yo, Trav, I feel like this is the first episode where we've done a lot of name drops. You've done
a lot of name drops.
I mean, you got to promote. You got to promote, man. You got to promote.
They're
so that
all
way
so cool.
Yeah. So. All right, so, you know, we're getting close to the end of the interview, and if D was here, D always has his famous 2 questions that he likes to wrap the interviews up with. So I'll ask the first one, and then Trav, you can ask the second one. The first question is, what is one of your favorite 80s or 90s movie, or both?
Oh man! And this like anime, or can this be any movie?
Anything, yeah.
All dogs go to heaven.
Oh, you can't. Oh my God! You can't do this at the end. I need to think about it. Oh man, 80s or 90s movie. Well, now I'm thinking 80s, and this may be a very basic answer, but I just like really love this movie. Is Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like, I just love 80s movies are just so cool and so fun.
They are cool.
They are.
And I love it. I guess I'll do 90s too. I love the movie Clueless a lot.
Oh, me too.
That's Trav's favorite. Oh my God.
It's not my favorite, but I do like Clueless.
This man.
Hey. Cat, this man wanted to do a
what did I try to get us to do?
He wanted us to do a 25th anniversary episode of Clueless. I
got shut down. Let me just say that.
He was just like, "Hey, this is a nerd podcast. Like, how we doing?
How dare they do that to you?"
Exactly.
Oh.
Hey, you can still tie it in. You got Ant-Man 25 years prior, still looking the same.
Look,
you know what I mean?
Hey, look, man, we won't do it 20, like talking a whole hour about.
I don't even know if Banks has seen Clueless, to be honest.
I have seen Clueless, and I've seen Clueless, the TV show. Kat, have you seen the TV show?
I didn't know there was a TV show.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think it only got one season though.
Yeah, it was no. It was like, I want to say it was 2, because I think the first season came on NBC. And then the second season came on UPN back in the day, because I think they changed the characters of it. I think Donald Faison and what's her name? What's her name, Trav? I'm mad I can't remember her name. Dame Stacey Dash. They were the only 2 people that returned from the movie.
First season?
Yeah.
They gotta get Paul Rudd back.
Hey, Paul Rudd moved on to bigger things at that time. He said, I'm good. I'm good. So, so Trav, go ahead with the second question.
So I'm most excited about Chainsaw Man because I still don't feel like there's some really good horror anime. You know, you got your Elfen Lied, Parasite's pretty gory, Tokyo Ghoul kind of. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen Serial Experiment Land, stuff like that. But
that's like next on my list of things to watch. I've heard.
Yeah, that one's really weird. But yeah, I'm just really excited about it because there's just not a whole lot of horror anime like that. So we got to ask you, we're all horror heads on the podcast. Growing up, what is something that scared you, spooked you, stuck with you? Not even necessarily movie related, maybe you saw a ghost in the window or, anything, man. Grandma had weird dolls. What scared you, stuck with you, that you're like, yeah, I can't do it.
Well, okay, I have two stories, and one of them
Okay.
is like a real life experience. The other one is like something I watched. So cut me off if we're running out of time.
No,
Oh, no,
we
go
need
ahead.
both of those.
Okay,
Yeah.
sick.
Both of them.
The first one is, and I'm a very big Studio Ghibli fan.
Mhm.
When I was very young, I think I went to like my uncle's house and we watched Spirited Away,
Mhm.
and No Face scared the shit out of me.
That's
And
wild.
it became my childhood horror. I was so scared of No Face. It was No Face and then E.T. Those are my two biggest fears when I was a kid, and I had to have a nightlight because I thought they were gonna appear in my doorway. And then I guess like a very scary thing that happened to me, and I don't know if I believe in ghosts or not, but maybe after that, yeah, that makes me want to believe. But when I was younger, I think I was in like 6th grade, my friend and I would have a lot of sleepovers and slumber parties. And one day she was telling me how she had like a what's the word? Guardian angel.
Yeah.
And she said its name was Apple because it had like 2 very red like blush.
Cheeks.
Yeah, it
Okay.
had very red cheeks.
Yeah.
And one day we were having a sleepover, and what we used to do is we had like a big air mattress and we just blow it up and both sleep on it on my floor. And I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a woman standing over our air mattress, and I looked at her and she had 2 very red cheeks.
Wow.
And I don't know if I was dreaming. It felt too real to be a dream because I sat up and we just kind of looked at each other for a minute, and then I guess like young me was like fuck this, and I just like laid back down and went back to bed. And the next morning I was like, I think I saw Apple last night, and my friend was like, oh yeah, she watches over me, and I was like, cool, awesome.
See, I thought you were gonna say, you know, kind of like in those documentaries where it's like they thought it was a guardian angel, but it wasn't. It was a demon.
It was a scary monster.
Oh my God. No, that's hilarious, man. I thought that story was gonna go south, and
Yeah.
I thought Apple was gonna be like, swear to me.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it was a dream, but it was very spooky, and I think about it a lot, and I go, that's scary. I don't like that.
That's the thing. You just don't know. Were you dreaming? Do you just have a
Uh-huh.
big imagination, or was it real? And I don't know if I believe in spirits neither,
I
but
do.
I'm like half in. It's so hard, man. I always go back and forth.
That's what she
back and
said.
forth.
I know. That's what she said. I also go back and forth because it's like, sometimes some really spooky shit happens, and you're
Yeah.
It
like,
does, yeah.
Hmm.
maybe.
Yeah, like I know when I was a kid, my cousin, he had went to sleep one night, and then the next day he had a scar on his back, and he was just like, yeah, I got that because I had said Candyman's name 5 times.
Oh,
and,
okay.
the Candyman.
and he got the scar, and he said Candyman scarred him on his back while he
And
was
Banks
sleeping.
don't play about Candy.
Yeah,
Man.
hey, look, hey, he said the reason why he didn't scream was because Candyman told him if he screamed, he was gonna kill him. So that's, and me back then, I believed everything that my cousin said. I remember when he told me how Michael Jackson, like how his skin got bleached because they were playing hide and go seek, and he went and hid in the laundry room, and a bucket of bleach fell on him, and
And
Yeah,
then
that's-
you was like,
I was just
yeah.
like, that's what happened, like. Yeah, but that's those are
Told
the
all his
stories.
friends when he went to school.
I did tell my friends all of that stuff, man. Because I mean, he even told me, like in Resident Evil 2, that there's like the zombies, the outbreak started because a firefighter was hungry and he bit another firefighter, and
Lord.
and the firefighter turned into a zombie. And I was just like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. And when I would tell people that actually played the game, they was just like, that doesn't happen. There was a virus there. I was just like, oh well. My cousin told me that. But anyway, thank you, Kat, for joining us. We are at the
Thank
end of the
you.
interview. It was awesome talking to you and, learning a lot about you and whatnot. And I hope that, everybody that either watches or listens to this, that they learn a lot more about you, because, it's the same thing like I always say about on Who's That Cosplayer. It's just like when you look at people online, you only see videos or pictures. You don't know who the people are. They're just posting their stuff. So I hope that a lot of your fans, that they got a chance to learn a little bit more about you. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
You're
for having
welcome.
me.
You're welcome. And before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you.
Oh yes. Okay. Twitter and Instagram are just my name @Protano. And my website is caprotano.com, where you can see what I'm up to, and that's about all the social media I do. I need to be cooler. Oh, sometimes I stream, not as much anymore, but I'm gonna try and get back into it. So when I do, it is Caprotano VA on Twitch. If I ever get back into it.
Awesome.
What were you streaming?
A lot of Final Fantasy 14, and I would do collab streams with my other friends too.
Okay.
So.
I like
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And if D was here, he would say that you could find him at rebellious D23. And Trav, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
That's right. I'm on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm also on the Twitter at TRAVIOSCK. And to clear something up for Mr. Banks, I'm also on the Letterbox at TRAVIOSCK. just so.
Bro, I didn't know what your letterbox name was.
That's right. Hey, and I'm always going to talk about a movie that I watched this week, but they put Belle on HBO Max. I watched it again last night, and of course,
it's a good movie.
Dude, you can't watch that movie without crying 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh my God, lend me your voice.
Dude, every damn song makes you tear up, man.
That's true.
Slap the dub,
dude.
That's
what I'm talking about. That dub, it slaps.
It's so good.
Oh,
yeah, man. I can't wait to watch it. I haven't seen that movie since I watched it because it was in theaters around my birthday at the start of the year, and I haven't watched it again because I'm waiting for the collector's edition to come out. I think it already came out, but
it ain't out yet.
It's not out yet?
Nope, I just got the regular Blu-ray. Your boy waiting. I need
that collector's edition. It's gonna slap hard, man. I can't wait to watch it again. But hey, you know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at King Benji _Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you, everybody, again, for watching this interview. And make sure you check out some more interviews that we have here on the channel. Check out our reviews, reaction videos, all that good stuff. The podcast link is down below in the description. And then the video of that interview, like this one right here, will be up there on YouTube on Friday.
It's a 5-star review, baby.
I want to end this a little bit differently because, we do have another 4-townie here with me. So, Kat, would you like to sing with me as we wrap this thing up? I never met nobody like you. Have friends and I have buddies. It's true. But they don't turn my tummy the way you do. I never met nobody like you.
Yeah.
Trav, go ahead. Trav, let's do it.
Do what?
You're never not on my mind.
Oh, mine. Oh, my.
I'm always by your...
I thought it was you're never not by my side.
You're never not by my side.
My side.
My side. I don't know.
I'm never going to let you cry.
Oh, what does it say?
Oh, cry. Don't cry. You'll always be my ride.
That's the bop, though. That song's the bop.
Try can't say what? You always be my ride.
My ride.
Or die. All right. And then it's like, let's call it what it is. It's a masterpiece. Got a whole lot of love for them city streets. Glendale, tonight is the place to be. I got a big boom box and a new CD. Come on, everybody, let's tear it up. If you want math skills, you can share it with us. Come on, everybody, just stop and stare, and you know why it's me. Bam. Hey, we'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Keep them pinkies up. Peace. Thank you for watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content on our channel. Make sure you check out our podcast where we release new episodes every Tuesday and the video of that episode is uploaded on Friday. And you can find new episodes of our podcast on all podcast platforms. Make sure you follow all the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, we have a Patreon. If you're feeling generous and would love to donate to us, it's at Leveling Up Banks. And huge shout out to our patrons. We really appreciate you and thank you for the support. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.